challenge each other. Let's inspire each other. Let's do it together. Okay. Father, right now, here we come again. God, I pray tonight that you will give our guys the ability to take the game plan and execute it in a supernatural way. And God, we're going to thank you ahead of time in Jesus' name, our Father.
Dr. Ed Gomes is the chaplain for Liberty Football, a role he's claimed for almost 25 years. However, his time at Liberty didn't start there, and it wasn't football that first brought him to the mountain.
I was here from 74 to 76.
And you still have some records with the team, right?
Oh yeah, I got 2 records. One is most turnovers and most assists. I was undisciplined. I like that backboard. You know, when I showed up on campus, I anticipated the basketball court, dormitories. Well, I showed up, and when Coach Manley took me on a tour of the campus, all I saw was trees. We had nothing. But we knew that God was with us.
In those days, we were just getting started. We didn't have the Vine Center. We didn't have any of these things. We played wherever we could find a basketball floor, and we had Ed Gomes. I said that having Ed Gomes and the team we had back in those days, like Michael Jordan having a basketball team, was Dr. Townsend be on it. Somebody has got to be able to catch it and pass it in.
Dr. Gomes served as team captain for his final 2 seasons before getting married and finishing his seminary degree at Liberty. The newlyweds felt the Lord leading them back to their hometown in Massachusetts, where Dr. Gomes worked as an associate pastor and a chaplain for the police department.
Again, I had no idea that God was setting me up for something down the road, but it was a blessing, to build relationships with police officers and yet be involved in a local church ministry. It was a win-win situation.
Being surrounded by family and in the midst of a growing ministry, life was good for the Gomes family. But God would start moving in Dr. Gomes's heart when he was asked to come back to Liberty.
In 1995, I came to speak in Convo. And I wasn't looking. I was content. All my family was home. But I came to preach in Convocation in 1995, and on the way back, I said, God, are you telling us you want us to come back to Lynchburg? And man, I got back home. I asked my wife, what do you think about going back to Lynchburg? And God just gave confirmation through his word. He gave confirmation through circumstances. He gave confirmation through people. And so when we came for our official visit, my wife and I, it was obvious that God was in it.
So, after a 10-year hiatus, God brought the Gomes family back to Lynchburg.
When I came back in 95, my heart was always in the campus pastor's office, but there wasn't an opening. And so I began to serve as the dean of commuter students, responsible for off-campus students. Well, I was dealing with a football player. His name was Sammy Choice. And the football coach at that time, he said, this is what we need for our football team. And after that, man, it was a no-brainer that this is what God wanted me to start doing.
And since 2001, that is what Dr. Gomes has been faithfully doing. Through different coaches and conferences, it's always been the same calling, to train champions for Christ. Dr. Gomes has been a part of the mountain for close to 50 years, and in that time, he's seen God move and the mission of Liberty stay the same.
When I look back and think of where we were, playing our basketball games at Jefferson Forest High School. In fact, when we beat UCLA, I text Coach McKay and I said, Coach, we've come a long ways from Jefferson Forest High School. And as I look back and sitting in that classroom, sitting in chapel, and hear Dr. Falwell talk about a law school, talk about an engineering school, talking about playing against BYU. And we had no football field. We had no baseball field. We had no basketball courts. We had nothing but trees. But Dr. Falwell had a vision. When I look back and see the faith that Dr. Falwell had, and to see the fruit of his faith today, it's an absolute miracle.
Folks, I want to say this first of all. I want to say this to the alumnus. Hey, our methods may have changed, but I want to assure you as alumni that our mission and our message has not changed one iota. We may have different methods, but I can assure you on the basis of someone who's here that the message and the mission is just as clear as it was when Dr. Falwell started the university.